There was some incidents too, man. It was far. See, a lot of interracial dating was going on back then. One of the football players was an incident. Long story short, he slapped this little Miss Ann, and one of the, I think it was the football coach, said, "quote, we ought to hang him." We got little snippets of those kind of things, and we knew where we stood. We knew where we stood. You remember in Weiser Park with Mr. Yost when we had that sock hop?
Yeah.
We attempted to merge male and female, black and white. This guy comes out and he's frail as iron. Get back, white students over here. This was in the mid-'60s. I started Weiser Park 64, 65. I was 14 years old. 15, I was down at back to Central. No, yeah. Anyhow, back then, mid-'60s, it was like at Central they called it scene fighting when interracial dating. But from that sprung, it was so many jump off points where they could ignite things. And of course, the Ministerial Alliance, it's not a knock on them, but back then, Reverend Jesse White, the late Dr. Reverend Jesse White, he was an advocate. We used to call him the white man's mouthpiece. Matter of fact, preachers, period, whenever the natives, blacks got unrest, got restless, they'd send in the Ministerial Alliance, all right, y'all calm down now, calm down. Well, we wasn't going for the okie doke anymore. We figured that later on, here it is, BSSC, Black Society for Social Change. We desired a black history club. We wanted some black teachers. We wanted more recognition, more, the ratio black and white, I think our guesstimate is 66 to 69 when I come there and graduate. At one time, it was, say, 3 to 1 white students. 65, 25, then of course you had your Hispanics or Mexican students. By the time we graduated, the majority, or the minority became the majority. Like we are now. They call us the minority majority. What a laugh. Anyhow, this brother and I, Joseph Timberlake, Lawrence Williams, Charles Van Pelt, Dennis Walton, Charles Myatt, William Patterson, Sue Hassel, Janice McGee, Beverly Starling, there was another, Clotilde Walton. Those were women in our group, and we call ourselves the BSSC, Black Society for Social Change. And our desire was to have a black guidance counselor. You know, we had, what was our dean of boys' name? Horsemeyer, Richard Horsemeyer. Okay, imagine you a young black student wanting guidance and, collegiate intel. So imagine what a white man was going to tell you. This is my mindset back then. Imagine what a white man was going to tell you about your career choices. So, imagine. So, here comes Brother Hobart Gray. Rubin, take it from here.
Well, it was really interesting. The thing that I remember, you remember we went to them wanting to start a Black Arts Festival.
Yeah.
And they like, wait a minute, what you mean black art? I mean, like the term didn't exist. And so then we had to go to them with plans to talk about black art. Well, how do black art differ from white art? It differs in a number of ways. It just talks about us, it talks about our dance, our emotion, our rhythms, and all of these things. So that lasted for 4 months almost. I think it didn't happen until 68. And we got there in 67. So the group was we was getting tighter. But after we put on a successful Black Arts Festival, I mean, it was very successful. We did it smooth. We brought in artists, and we used the cafeteria, and we had speakers. And
you remember we had to set up those displays every day. Every day. And you will never guess where we got some of our black artifacts from. You remember this white guy? God forgive me, I can't remember the guy's name, but we got more donations. We were allowed to use this art. Pictures, we had spears, because I remember Charlie Myers stuck me with this. I'm my whole day against Charlie Myers to this day. But every day, Monday through Friday, we came in early to set up this art exhibit. We had pictures, man. We had kente cloth. We had spears. We had every day. We were dedicated. We made sure that we had set up the proper time. And each time they came to the cafeteria, to see. And actually, we got a little bit of interest. And all of a sudden, it's like, what's going on? The black tiki. We were wearing them as a symbol. We had the afro with symbol of black pride and the tiki. So guess what? This one white student, he wore tiki, but he had it painted white, bless his heart. So it was like counterbalance, man. It's good. Like we had the yin and the yang, but we were determined that we were going to be heard. We were meant to do this. We might not have got that much publicity, but we feel, at least I feel, myself personally, that we are responsible. When you mention Black History Club, Afro-American History Club, today, boom, boom. I get an extra thump because I know before we started one in 1968, 69, there was no such thing as a Black History Club.
Okay, Rubin, what were the issues back then that you were clearly focused on that led to the Afro clubs and other things?
Well, because they was omitting it. Central was about 60% black at this time, and playing to the school body didn't mean playing to our culture. You understand? There was nothing about us to say Central is predominantly black. They used it as if, well, we won't say that, we won't say that. But in essence it was, and our culture was being suppressed. And that was an affront. Not only was it an affront, it was downright wrong. Yeah. And so we decided to bring this out. Not only did we have an art festival, but we had people who came in and spoke to the group. Bob Starkey, for once, he was an excellent painter. And so it was the first time that students, in fact, I think that was one of the questions the Dean of Boys asked us, well, who put y'all up to this? Yeah. And we said, no one put us up to it. We could think. We had had impromptu meetings for about a year. And we was listening to speakers, albums, reading all kinds of books, and this stuff was emanating from a lot of places.
It was in our spirit. It was just like we caught a cold.
Yeah.
But
we caught the flu.
But when somebody says, who put you up to this?
Okay, they didn't think we were independent enough to think on our own feet. They thought when somebody was, how they said about the civil rights workers, outside agitators. Yeah. For a period of time, you remember we stopped going down to the Urban League? Because, man, see, you realize we had a couple of teachers, one in particular, Queen Brame. She was a sister that put her personal life on the line. Her fiance, I'm paraphrasing, he threatened that if she got involved with them militant students, their engagement was going to have to be postponed. It was real drama.